Hello guys, it's Ryan Ho back with another video. Today I want to talk about the Hifiman Edition XS. Now this headphone, what I think makes it special is that it actually has this huge driver. Like everything in this grill is a driver, and I would say these are like almost 2 times bigger than other drivers that you get in other headphones. And we'll do a comparison between this and like a standard like 40mm driver, and you can see just how big the difference is. And I think that kind of leads to this headphone sounding very, I think, speaker-like, in the sense that because the driver is so big, it sounds like it's kind of encompassing you and it's coming all around you, versus small drivers just kind of sound like they're right next to your ear and they're really small. And this kind of gives music a big, large vastness factor. Like they're long and tall, as well as they're kind of wide too. Like the sound stage is really big. Things sound like they're kind of further away from you as well. So I think all that contributes to a kind of a unique experience at this price point. Because if you think about it, the Edition XS is $500. The next cheapest alternative is the Hifiman Ananda, which is $700. Then we have the Hifiman Aria, which is $1,600. And then they have the Hifiman HE1000 SE, which is $3,500. So this is actually the cheapest of its brethren of what people call egg-shaped Hifimans, which is basically this big driver ones. So this, as the cheapest alternative, makes it a very good value. In fact, I don't really think there's other headphones on the market that have drivers this big at this price point. At $500, this is pretty much the biggest driver you can get for the money. And I think that makes this headphone really good. Because besides that, not just the driver, but the way it sounds, the sound quality, and the tuning, we'll get into that. It honestly is amazing. So stick around and please like and subscribe down below. Helps my videos out. And yeah, so let's get into the review and kind of show you what comes in the box, and then we'll talk about how it sounds. So this is the box that the Edition XS comes in. It's a pretty standard Hifiman box. I think their boxes and unpacking is pretty standard, and I think it looks good. It's well protected, as always, with the foam. And then it has this nice velvet material that looks kind of premium. And you get a cable in here. So the cable you get in here is a standard kind of dual 3.5mm into a 3.5mm jack. So you can plug it into any kind of the modern devices that you want. And it also comes with a 1/4-inch adapter. So if you have any professional gear, then you can plug that in as well. So you kind of got all the bases covered for the cable. And it's just a standard black cable, which looks good with the headphone. So first of all, this headphone was sent to me by Post Audio for a review. So thank Post for that. They have a 2-year warranty. So I think compared to other retailers you buy from, they only have 1-year warranty. So I think buying it from Post does make sense. So I will leave a link to their website below so you guys can check that out. And because this is Post's headphone, I'm not going to open this to show you the driver, but trust me, you can see the driver inside. This is a big driver. And let me show you another headphone. This is a dynamic driver headphone, which is the Shure 840A. And if I take off the pads, you can kind of see the driver. It's literally this small thing in the middle. I mean, if you compare them, I mean, it's not even close. Like this thing is probably like 3 times bigger, if not 4 times bigger. Like the driver is absolutely huge. Like you can literally see like the trace in the middle inside of it. So yeah, you're getting a lot of driver for your money, that's for sure. Now, taking a closer look at this headphone, it has this standard kind of, I guess, new Hifiman headband that I really like. I find it just to be more fashionable, looks good, and I find it very comfortable to wear with the padding. And because this headphone isn't that heavy at 400 grams, it does a really well job of balancing it on your head and looking quite good. Now, these ear cups, like I said, are huge. Like this whole thing is the driver, which is kind of nuts. And I think the benefit of that is really your head or your ear is going to fit in this no problem, because it's so ginormous. I don't think anyone's ears are going to have a problem fitting in this. And these are kind of a hybrid ear pad. So there's leather over here, and then we got a little bit of a cloth material over here. So they don't really get hot, but they still feel nice, like because they're leather on the outside. So it gives it that nice leather look, which some people care, some people don't. This thing has kind of the standard extension, so You can pull these out and they have little clicks that you can see, and you can kind of tell exactly how you want the headphone to fit. And this design has swivel, so these things move left and right. So you can adjust to like your head shape, so that's also nice. I think all that makes this headphone really a good looking and comfortable headphone to wear. Like, I think that's one of the best things about Hifiman in general, is that they care about good looking headphones, affordable headphones. They also make lightweight headphones. And overall, they kind of have the whole package. So some headphones are just like way too heavy. Some headphones look kind of ridiculous on your head. And yeah, I think Hifiman always does a good job. And of course, some headphones are also just way too expensive. And I think Hifiman always kind of brings a good value compared to the market. So yeah. All right, so this is how the Hifiman fits on my head. I think it actually looks relatively good, especially for such a big headphone. Like, these drivers, like I said, are big, but the weight is actually not that bad. It's about 408 grams, which is, I think, lighter than the AirPod Max. So for reference, it's not really that bad. And like I said, you have a big driver that weighs a lot, but they managed to keep the weight down of this headphone, so it's still comfortable. I like the headband a lot. It fits me really nicely. I'm used to it too because the other Hifimans I wear have a similar headband, and they're so big that like your ears will definitely fit inside of these ear cuffs, so that's not going to be a problem. So another thing that I want to talk about the Edition XS is what you can power it with, right? So honestly, this thing is 18 ohms, meaning it's basically, you can power it off an iPhone. I tried it with the iPhone dongle and it gets very loud and it sounds fine. So if you're worried about power, you don't really need to, because it's a very efficient headphone. Now, it does sound better if you're using like more expensive gear, as always. Like, I was testing this on the Topping D90 SE as well as the i5 Pro iCan. So these are really kind of professional gear, so it does sound really good on those, but you could literally use an iPhone dongle if you want and you'll be fine. All right, so let's talk about sound. So how does the Edition XS sound? In my opinion, the Edition XS has quite a very similar Hifiman kind of tuning, but where it deviates, I think, is in the mid bass. I think this headphone has a little bit more mid bass than other Hifimans. And the other thing is, I think in the sub bass, at least compared to like the Sundara, maybe it has less sub bass emphasis. And maybe compared to the HE6 SCV2 also has less sub bass, so it kind of rolls off down there. But when it comes to the mid-range, I think that's where this headphone kind of shines. Like, this mid-range is really, really good. Like, the vocals sound really great, like male, female vocalists. I think it sounds like really nice on this headphone, and compared to Sundara, I think it sounds about the same. So I think the mid-range of both of these headphones is very, very good, and they're both a lot better than the HE6 SCV2. There's kind of a big hole in the mid-range for this headphone, so these two are better in that regard. Let's talk about the next thing, is the treble. So the Edition XS has a little bit of a treble emphasis. So I think it gives it more detail, or sounds more detailed than probably both of these headphones because of that emphasis. But that treble emphasis also comes with a little bit of kind of overemphasized when people pronounce like the S's and the T's. They just kind of stand out a little bit more. And sometimes it gets a little hot, or like, you know, it gets tiring to listen to this headphone sometimes on certain songs. But then sometimes I listen to other songs and it's not really a problem. So I think it depends on the song as well. But in general, I think the treble sounds very detailed. And if you compare it to like other headphones on the market, this headphone sounds super clean and clear. It's kind of ridiculous. And I really do think this gives what people would imagine as the audiophile experience, because one, it sounds just, because it's a planar driver and it's tuned by Hifiman, it has a really good tuning and it sounds clean and clear, right? But the other thing that it does just way better than other headphones, literally like any other headphone on the market, it literally sounds big and large, because the drivers are big. It has a big sound stage, so things sound like they're kind of far away from your head. But the other thing is they sound really tall. They sound like they're above you and below you very well. And it gives this like speaker-like experience that I don't really get in other headphones. Even these Hifiman headphones in front of me, the Sundara and the HE6, they don't sound this big. And I feel like That's what makes this headphone stand out, even compared to other planar headphones, dynamic headphones all over the market. And that to me makes this a steal and a value king, and also a benchmark at its price point. And so I definitely do recommend Edition XS for people who are looking for that audiophile hi-fi experience. I think this is a headphone that will really wow you. Now the Sundara to me is a headphone that maybe I would recommend as well for other people who don't really know what they want to listen to. I think the Sundara is technically tuned better than the Edition XS. I think it has more bass. The mid-range is about the same, but the treble is more controlled, so you won't really feel like that like fatiguing factor with this headphone. But it also sounds really detailed, but maybe not as detailed as this. But I mean, it's a cheaper headphone too. It's at $350. I think the Hifiman Sundara is a good value, and if you're looking for good tuning, I think this headphone will be good for that. But if you're looking for something that really wows you and amazes you, I think the Edition XS is the better choice. Anyways, I hope this video was useful for you guys. Please like and subscribe down below, it really helps my videos out, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.